Hey guys, Kelly Ray. Hope you're having an awesome Monday morning so far. Also, sorry I sent out last week's Monday morning email on Friday afternoon. That was pretty funny. So as I said, I'm going to start doing these videos for you guys, for those of you who would rather learn by watching a video or listening than reading that whole long email that I send out. So we're going to go through my last 9 rules for leadership today. So number 1 is lead the change and be excited about it. So in business, things are constantly changing. That's not really an option. Like, change is always going to happen in business, especially nowadays. So I want you to decide to change, and I want you to lead people through change. So instead of being like one of those people that's like, change is hard, change is struggle, that sort of thing, be excited about it. Lead them through it. Be like, okay, things are changing again. Things are going to be awesome. So lead the change and be excited about it. Number 2, I want you to start to look for what's right, expect the best, and get more positive results from your people. So when you're going around and you're noticing, oh, well, that's not good enough, you were 5 minutes late, etc., it really puts a damper on people's engagement, morale, performance. But if you're going around looking for the people who are doing good things, and you're expecting good things from people, you're going to get much better results. So if you're saying, let's use an example of if somebody's late, rather than being like, I'm so annoyed at you for being late, you could be appreciative of when they're on time. That's just a very basic, small example. But in every situation, you're going to have the opportunity to be upset about the negative or praise the positive. So I always want you to look for the positive end of it. And really expect the best from your people, because you really get what you expect. I just accidentally mixed 2 of the points together, so maybe you do want to read the email below. Next one, a real leader grows other leaders. And they make themselves replaceable. So a lot of people in leadership positions, myself included when I was a young leader, we sort of get some kick, some significance out of being irreplaceable. I remember when I was younger, I always wanted to be irreplaceable. And that's just not a good way to be as a leader. A real leader is growing other good leaders so that if they are needed, if they do need to be replaced, that they can easily be replaced. A big part of that is having other people who are leading the clients and the other team members towards your mission and your goals. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to develop a bunch of people who are like stand-in managers, or like people who could just step into the CEO role, tomorrow. But you do want people who know the strategic objectives of the company, who are leading your clients, your business, everybody towards the mission, towards the vision, and towards your goals, okay? You want to make it so that if you weren't there tomorrow, it would be okay, as close to that as possible. That's really good leadership. Okay, a leader leads by example, whether they intend to or not. I love this one. So this basically means that everyone is watching you. Not in a creepy way, well, maybe some of you, but so if you're in a leadership role, your staff, your clients, your people, the public, young people in your life, people are looking up to you, and they're looking for you, for cues on how to behave and act. So you want to be living your mission statement. You want to be walking the talk. You want to be doing the things and exemplifying the behavior that you want from your people, because they're watching you for that example, okay? We instinctively teach the way we learn, but we have to teach or coach to all learning styles. So this is another great lesson that I learned actually when I was running hair school. So we used to do a learning style test in those schools called format learning. And so I learned that my learning style was one particular learning style, and it was different than everybody else's. So I realized that I was teaching the way that I learn. And so I thought back over all the people I had led over the years who didn't respond well to me, and it's because they had a different learning style. Well, I'm not perfect, let's be honest. There were probably other reasons. But the majority of them who I had trouble teaching things to or coaching them to be different in a certain situation, it was because they don't learn like I do. I learn by reading and writing. I have a really hard time remembering things and processing things if I don't read them or write them, or sometimes both. And there's other people who can just listen, like you listening to this video right now. If you're auditory or visual learner and you can just watch or listen, that's great, but that's not how I usually teach. So obviously doing a video every week was the last thing on my list. Thankfully, some of my clients pointed it out for me. So since everyone has different learning styles, you're probably missing out on a lot of opportunities to help people grow or be better or learn things. I like to just ask people. We ask all the business owners we work with, what's your learning style? How do you like to best learn? So then we try to coach to that. But you can also, there are lots of different forms of testing and quizzes out there and things like that. And then also just make sure and remind yourself often, like put this somewhere, put it in your calendar, put a sticky note, whatever you like to do, but remind yourself to review this and teach to the different learning styles: auditory, visual, kinesthetic, reading and writing. Okay, so just remember that. Right now you're probably only connecting with those people who learn exactly like you, and that's not good. You want to connect everybody. Ask for and implement feedback. Oh my goodness. If you're not asking for feedback from clients and staff, you're really missing out. Also, strategic alliances or anybody else who could be sending you business or growing your business, you want to ask, what can we do better? What are we doing really well? What do you like about us? What would have you leave us for someone else? These are all really, really great questions. Make sure you look for patterns in the data and then make data-driven decisions. I don't know why anybody guesses or just tries something in business to see if it works when they could use data. They could ask for feedback and then use that data. Create and reiterate compelling visions. So this is one of the major key components of successful change, and I think we talked about that a couple months ago in the Successful Change Leadership video. But you just need to constantly be painting that picture for people and getting them involved in painting the picture. What is that end goal, that compelling vision, that the reason we're doing this work? What's going to be so great after we're done this? You know, you really want people to know why they're working, what they're working towards, especially for younger people. A lot of their lack of motivation or turnover is coming from them not feeling like there's a really strong why behind what they're doing. So create and reiterate those compelling visions for everything. You want to have a vision for everything. You know, it could be common for a lot of different things, but they have to know, what's the awesome end goal here? You know, what are things going to be like when this is done? Okay, the last one is intention, intention, intention. So I often tell my clients, don't worry, being a good leader just means being a good person. So what I mean behind that is if you have good intentions, you have a pretty good chance of being a good leader. So there are a lot of examples where intention is really important, but I'm just going to give you 3. So just so you can kind of really understand this concept. So number 1, when you go into a sales meeting with a prospective client, if your intention is to be totally to help them find the right solution for them, you might not recommend your company, you might recommend somebody else who's better for them, then that meeting goes really, really well. And if they are the right fit, they end up going with you. But if you go in there intending to make a sale, it doesn't go well. It feels awful for everybody, right? Number 2 example, when you go into a coaching meeting with an employee, if your intention is to help find a solution that both of you like, or help come up with a great result, you know, and you're open to their ideas, you work on that together, you'll have a great conversation. But if you go in there with the intention of shaming them or making them feel bad, you are not going to get the behavior that you want from them. In fact, you'll probably get the opposite behavior. 3rd example, so if you do your marketing, advertising, or branding with the intention of tricking people, it's not going to work for you, at least not long term. But if you do your marketing, branding, or advertising with the intention of authentically sharing who you are and attracting clients who are a great fit, it works every time. Okay, so those are the last 9 rules in my leadership rules to live by, and I know they're going to help, so make sure that you guys implement them and review them, and have an awesome, awesome week. I'll see you next Monday.